Let's talk about it with distinguished professor at Touro University, Thane Rosenbaum, and Newsmax contributor and former prosecutor Amir Benno, and also back on set with us, Doug Collins. Let's see, Amir, I'm going to start with you. I think you're here in the New York area. Give me your assessment of what Santos, we've seen this story unfold. Is there a there? Are they going to get somewhere with him? He obviously pleaded not guilty, but that's just the beginning, you could say.
Yeah, well, it seems like they've got the evidence. I mean, they've got the district attorney working with the FBI on this. And it's not surprising that he pleaded not guilty. That's typical.
Right.
But, you know, it's a records offense. I mean, they're going to say, look, he accepted unemployment benefits. He essentially laundered money. He defrauded people to contribute to his campaign. It's very hard to defend those charges if they've got the actual paper trail. So I think there is a there, but don't expect the Democrats to try to push for a quick resolution to this. I think they want to drag this out as long as possible so that they can run against George Santos for as long as possible and to maximize the political capital that this brings to them.
Hey, Doug, you mentioned something earlier that I thought was quite interesting, that the timing of the George Santos charges that came out today. Explain what you meant.
Well, I think what it meant is you had all this buildup of the Hunter Biden issue, the Comey interview, which he announced on Monday. We're going to do this Wednesday morning. And then all of a sudden, late yesterday evening, this comes out about Santos. This has been building with Santos, but it also shows it in what our guest just said, was when the prosecutor has the evidence that they go for, they can bring those charges. And that's what they did. It's a paper trail look here. My question is, you have evidences of Hunter, you have evidences of gun violation, drug violations, prostitution, I mean, all this kind of stuff, but yet it keeps getting drug out. So it, again, shows the difference in what we're seeing in this Department of Justice. But I think more it was a distraction. I still think it's that, here, watch this shiny object over here while we don't want to talk about this over here.
Speaking of distractions, Mr. Biden actually had a presser last night. Right.
And actually answered questions. Yes.
Yeah.
That's the Washington Post did that.
Kind of changing the. Anyway, let's go. Thane, your thoughts about yesterday, about $5 million. That's how much President Trump ordered to pay Eugene Carroll for sexual battery and defamation. The president, of course, taking to Truth Social. I have no idea who this woman who made false and totally fabricated accusation is. Hopefully justice will be served on appeal. What are your thoughts about appeal?
So as I said on your show yesterday, Bob, you know, this case is a civil case for defamation, but it was treated like a rape case, but it's not a criminal case. This is a civil case.
Yeah.
So essentially, she would have needed to prove that she was raped in order for Donald Trump to have defamed her by him denying that he raped her, right? This case is not about him being charged with rape. It's about him denying that he had ever raped her. Because this wasn't a criminal case, this court introduced evidence, accepted evidence that would have never been accepted in a rape trial.
Yeah, and a preponderance of evidence, right? They were even told, you know, is it 50% more likely or less likely?
Yeah, it's a simpler standard, as you know from class, Bob. Yeah. It's usually more likely than not, right? Not beyond a reasonable doubt, but more likely than not.
Right.
So even with this home court advantage, where she was able to introduce evidence that she would not have been able to introduce in a criminal case, and in a much lower standard of review, as you just pointed out, preponderance evidence, the jury came back and said no rape. So as I said on your show yesterday, I just don't see how you can justify a defamation verdict if the core lie is about rape.
Yeah.
If that's the core lie and the jury came back and said, well, you weren't raped, but something else happened of a battery, of a sexual battery.
Right.
And so therefore we'll give you damages for that. Yeah. And let me just say one last thing. Remember, this case only arises because of a special law in New York.
That's right.
That created a one-year window to bring a case.
And I'm sure that'll be part of the appeal. That'll be part of the appeal, of course.
Exactly. That is a due process claim that needs to be part of the appeal.
Okay, Thane, I'm still working on my paper. I hope you can give me an extent. Thane Rosenbaum, Amir Benno, Doug Collins, thank you.